Welcome to the Little Miss Movies podcast, where two movie-obsessed parents make their 10-year-old watch movies she'd never watch otherwise. This is episode number 23, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Welcome back to the Little Miss Movies podcast. My name is Christina, and I am a writer who will, depending on when you're listening to this, we'll have a book on Jane Russell coming out in a week. Or maybe it's in the past. I am also a librarian, and I am the mother of Little Miss Movies.
Hi, I'm Gable. I'm Little Miss Movies. I'm allowed to sing 11. Birthday's in like 3 days.
I think you're close enough to 11.
Yeah, I'm 11. Okay,
Hey. I'm gonna say that you need to say that you're 365th.
I'm 2 and 300 and how many?
362. 365th.
Okay, I'm 10 and 362 days shy of 11. No, I'm 10 and
362 days.
2 days old. Which means my birthday's really, really soon.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we get to do my special movie episode thing. I want to.
Okay. What else do you have to say about yourself?
Moving right along.
I'm almost 6th grade. Yeah, last day of 5th grade's on Friday, which is a week from when we're recording this. I like a lot of stuff, but right now the main things are Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, Harry Potter, Jaws.
Cool.
It's a lot more, but they take forever to list, so
That'll work.
I do that.
Cool.
I'm
Josh. I'm a television writer, and I'm her dad. And I'm married to the writer lady who wrote a book about Jane Russell. And it's interesting because we're here, and you're never gonna guess what this movie is. Who's in this movie?
Yes, so
I think we talked about it last week. So
did we talk about it?
Yes, we
so
did.
Since my Jane Russell book is coming out, we thought it would be appropriate to discuss a Jane Russell film, and if we were going to do that, I thought that we should discuss what's my favorite Jane Russell film and arguably her best film. And this is a little bit of a cheat because normally we like to show movies to Gable that she hasn't seen before. And Gentlemen Prefer Blondes is a movie she has seen before, but I just love it so much that I wanted to talk about it. And it had been a while since Josh had seen it, so we rewatched
I thought you were
it.
gonna say it's been a while since we've seen it. We saw it like a month ago.
Yeah, I think we
watched
it
like
twice.
a month ago.
Watched it twice in the last month, but
Yeah.
I just absolutely love this movie. So yes, so it's my book that's coming out, and it's our podcast. So we're gonna do Gentlemen Prefer Blondes with Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. So Gable, can you tell us? Yeah, do you have fame? I mean, do you want to tell us what it's about? Do you want to launch into your thoughts?
You do what it's about, because it's your movie. I say my thoughts. You say what it's about.
Okay, well, it's
about you now.
It's about me now.
This episode is about you.
Well,
it's your
so
book.
for those of you that haven't seen Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, it focuses on two showgirls who are very good friends. One of them is, you might say she's a little bit interested in money and finding somebody to marry with money so that she'll have security. That's
Marilyn Monroe.
This is Marilyn Monroe as Lorelei Lee. And her friend Dorothy Shaw, played by Jane Russell, who's more interested in genuine love and finding marriage that way. And
they go on a cruise.
They go on a
cruise.
They go on
That's the entire movie.
Well, it's transatlantic passage.
It's a cruise
because that's how you would get. Well, it's a cruise. Well, it's an ocean liner. It's an ocean liner.
That's a cruise.
They're not like cruising the way people cruise. People cruise for pleasure now. They were on this ship
or on Van Nuys Boulevard.
Van Nuys Boulevard. And so they're going to Paris, and it just kind of talks, kind of shows their exploits, and it's just a heck of a lot of fun, and they're singing along the way. So Gable, do you have?
Now I show up everything.
You have thoughts?
I like it, and it's fun, and I want Marilyn's diamonds.
This is your.
That's it.
I know we watched Phantom Paradise. Was there another musical? I guess 42nd Street's kind of a musical.
Kind of.
But this one is the only, like, of them, this one is probably the closest to like a true musical in that the music isn't really, I guess there's a couple of the numbers or there's a reason for them and that they're in their show, but then there's just musical numbers just for the sake of having musical numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it like, Gable, seeing that kind of movie where people just burst into song because they have no other way to express their emotions?
These songs are fun. I think these songs are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them. I like singing them. And they're fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's very, very expansive.
I don't move my leg. Yeah.
Okay.
Should I go into questions?
Okay. Sure.
Should I do my
What other questions or thoughts do you have? So your thoughts? Okay.
Did they only film this on the lot, or did they film it in other places?
No, this movie is filmed on the 20th Century Fox lot. So
Okay.
there are, I think there's probably second unit that went to Paris because there's lots of scenes of the Parisian stores, and those are all genuine. But I think I don't think it's stock footage because it's like beautiful Technicolor, so it's probably second unit. So like a crew went and shot those scenes in Paris just to get those to insert. But Marilyn and Jane did not go to Paris, so it was. All of this would have been shot at 20th Century Fox on the lot.
Did not go and have fun in Paris.
They did not, although there
Okay.
is not really a sequel, but there is a movie, Gentlemen Marry Brunettes, which Jane Russell is in, and actually her production company produced, and that was filmed on location in Paris. But this one was not.
Was there, Gable? I'm gonna slow you down because I know you're gonna just burn right through this.
Yes, I am.
Was there a musical number that you thought was the best one? Like what
Then
song?
their girls are fun.
Can you
I-
say that slowly and into the microphone?
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
You liked that one?
Yes.
And why is
It's
that?
about girls dancing around in pink dresses with diamonds. That sounds awesome.
Can you say that slowly and into the microphone?
It's about girls in pink dresses dancing around holding diamonds.
And so
That sounds awesome.
you like pink dresses and diamonds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that sequence is like one of the most oft copied things from this era of film. Like it shows up again and again and again in other things.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's the Madonna video, right?
Yeah, which I mean, I saw the Madonna video before I saw Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, so I didn't even realize that she was paying tribute to Marilyn Monroe in the Material Girl video.
We like to feel old by saying things like this. Hey, Gable, do you know who Madonna is?
What actress? What singer? Or something?
So no, you don't
No,
know
you
who
don't.
Madonna is.
Singer.
Wow, isn't that
So
funny?
weird,
That
yeah.
is so weird. Madonna was well, she's still around. She's a pop singer. She was huge in the 1980s. I guess now not so much. Yeah, so I mean the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend numbers, like that imagery, I think it's one of the more famous musical numbers, I would say, in Hollywood history. So I think it's something definitely worth knowing about and being familiar with.
And even that look, like the look in that of Marilyn in that scene is like almost her quintessential, one of her quintessential looks.
I think other than the subway dress.
Yeah, those are the two.
But interestingly, the costume designer William Trevia, he originally designed this costume for Marilyn for that number that was just kind of like almost like a fishnet leotard with like strategically placed which were really rhinestones, but diamonds to cover her up, strategically. And then it had just a long tail, with like just a big, brooch that like pinned to her rear end. And so it was, I don't think you would call it a classy costume. It was more like a Vegas showgirl costume. And Daryl Zanuck, who was the head of 20th Century Fox at the time, like saw the preliminary, and there is a costume test of Marilyn wearing this outfit, which is, even though she is fully covered, it's still pretty skimpy. And Zanuck threw a fit and said, you can't put her in that, because this is when the production code was in effect. And so he was forced to go back to the drawing board and came up with the pink satin dress. And had she worn that other outfit, I don't know if the number would have ended up being so iconic, because I think that's a big part of it, is that it's, that dress is so incredible. And it's also just so classy and classic. I think that lends a lot to it. But as a side note, in Gentlemen Marry Brunettes, the costumes were actually recycled, and Jane Russell wears that costume for a number. And I think there's like some ostrich feathers or something were added to make it slightly more modest. But I think that costume that dress is a huge reason why that number became so iconic.
Well, it makes her empowered. It's not just her as an object, whereas if she's naked, she becomes a commodity, right?
Yeah.
She's trading her body in exchange for diamonds, as opposed to here where it's like, no, like she deserves the best things, and you can see that she's elegant and everything.
Yeah,
you know?
and in control.
Yeah.
And I like that there is, one of the verses, she's surrounded by other women.
Yeah.
And so it's her saying, "Hey girls, this is how, this is how you do it. This is how you take care of yourself." Do you think you would like that number as much, Gable, if she didn't have a gorgeous pink satin dress on?
No.
No. Do you think the dress is a big part of it?
Yes.
It is. Were there any of the other musical numbers that you like?
Jane Russell's Diamonds Are a Girl Best Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where Jane has to impersonate Marilyn. Do you think she does a pretty good job being Marilyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What?
I don't think Jane can really, truly be Marilyn. I think she can really, truly do a perfect impersonation of her.
Well, I don't know if anybody can truly be Marilyn, but I think she does a pretty, when she's, talking, I think she does a pretty good Marilyn impersonation. But when she sings, it's all Jane.
It's all Jane.
It's totally Jane. What do you think of Jane's number when she's dancing? Ain't There Anyone Here for Love?
It's all right.
It's all right. That's it.
It's okay.
Oh, that's because I've seen this movie in the theater quite a few times. Every time it's at a theater, I will always go see it. And that number always just brings down the house. Like everybody absolutely loves it because Jane just really
They don't
owns it.
save it for diamonds?
The Jane's number comes pretty early in the movie, so then we build up to Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. But like with an audience, man, Ain't There Anyone Here for Love is really the crowd pleaser.
Well,
Diamonds Are
the bit with her falling in the pool at the end is
that part I like.
It's not just that she falls in, but then that she's instantly back in the moment. It's like what really sells it.
And she wasn't even supposed to fall in.
No, that was her falling or being knocked into the pool was not scripted, and
it happened, and they liked it.
Yeah, it happened, and they did it. And I think, according to Jane, the person who knocked her in did get fired. And then when they came in, the next time they came in, they reshot it with her not getting knocked in, which Jane thought was ridiculous because, of course, they were going to use the one where she got knocked in, and they did. But it is
did they rehire the person?
That I don't know. Probably not.
I hope that person got rehired.
I hope they did too.
And got
because I agree. Like it does really. I mean, it's just a fantastic number, but then that just caps it off, just perfectly. Absolutely.
Now let's go on to my next question.
If you'd like to go to your next question, sure.
It is one of my usual questions.
What is that?
What did fans think of it when it first came out?
This movie was a huge hit when it first came out.
I feel like all the other ones it totally bombed.
No,
all the other ones.
This movie was a huge hit. When it was made, this movie came out in 1953, and by this time, Jane Russell had been around for a long time. She'd been around for over a decade, and so she was, pretty big, very well-known star. She was under contract to Howard Hughes, and so he loaned her out to 20th Century Fox to make this movie. So when she went to Fox, they rolled out the red carpet for her, and she had her own dressing room, and she brought her own hair and makeup crew, and they actually, Harry J. Wilde did the cinematography on this film, and that Howard Hughes, insisted on it because he loved the way Jane was photographed by Wilde. Marilyn had been under contract to 20th Century Fox, and she was definitely on the rise, but she was not a big star yet. And so she didn't even have her own dressing room initially, and they didn't want to give it to her because she was just kind of this lowly contract player, even though she was starting to become really, really popular. And so she finally put her foot down and said, whatever you think I am the blonde, and this is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and I should have a dressing room. And so Marilyn got her dressing room, and it was a huge hit. It was a perfect role for her. I think Marilyn just nails it. And the movie was so popular. This is what just made Marilyn Monroe an absolute superstar. And we have visited the Chinese theater in Hollywood. And we looked at, I don't know if you remember when we went, Gable,
Yeah.
how we saw Marilyn and Jane put
Yeah.
their hands and footprints in the cement, and it's for this film.
Yeah.
And
It
that's-
says Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Mhm.
On Marilyn, I think it was it on Marilyn's. It says blondes,
Mhm.
and Jane's it says Gentlemen Prefer.
Does it? You have a very good memory.
Oh, I think
You
it's.
have
I think
a very
it
good
says,
memory for. I have looked
I'm
at those
just guessing.
handprints
No, I
a
think
lot
it
of times and
says-
don't remember.
No, I think it says Gentlemen Pre on Jane's and then Fur Blondes on Marilyn's. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember it was like split. I'm guessing that Marilyn had the blonde.
Yeah, that
Blondes,
would
'cause
make
she's the
sense,
blonde.
wouldn't it?
She's the blonde.
And when you go, you look at Marilyn's and you can see how many people have put their hand into Marilyn's hand because it's very worn down.
And then poor
Um,
Jane just doesn't have as many.
Oh, I
this-
think she probably has a
She
lot.
has a lot, but
Yeah.
she doesn't have as many.
Not as many as Marilyn. Yeah.
And Niagara was the same year, right?
Niagara came out the previous year. So Niagara was, Niagara was a pretty big hit, and Marilyn's absolutely incredible in it. But I think they hadn't quite figured out what to do with her because, Niagara, she plays the absolute femme fatale.
Yeah.
And Howard Hawks, who was the director of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, had directed Marilyn in a movie called Monkey Business with Cary Grant and Ginger Rogers. It's a comedy. And so Zanuck was talking to Hawks, according to Howard Hawks, who isn't always necessarily a reliable narrator. But according to him, he was the one that told Zanuck, she's this unreal girl. Like you see her on screen, she's kind of like inhuman. She's a total fantasy. You have Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. You have this property that you had purchased. It had been on Broadway, and he said, you need to give that to her. And they weren't sure if she could pull off such a highly comedic role. And, and I think personally, like Marilyn was a fine dramatic actress, but as a comedian, she just could nail it. Like you watch her in this and you watch her in The 7-Year Itch and in Some Like It Hot. She, this was just where she absolutely shined. And so this, kind of, so it did kind of solidify her, at least for the studio, as the dumb blonde. And they constantly wanted to, even though Lorelai I think is not a dumb blonde, I think she's pretty cunning. They wanted to stick her in these types of roles.
She can be smart when she wants to.
Yeah, she can be smart when she wants to. And then ultimately, Marilyn had to kind of fight back to get more dramatic roles, which is what she was interested in. But yes, this movie was a very big hit.
What were both of your first impressions when you first saw it? I'm guessing you loved it and you were just kind of like, meh.
Gable, I'll tell you, there's a secret, Gable, about all movies starring Marilyn Monroe, which is that men love them. We all love them. We will watch them all day long. Doesn't matter which one or what happens in them, we're all fine.
But the thing, I think one of the unique things about Marilyn is that, women love to watch them too.
Yeah.
Because I think she is so incredibly likable. So, I saw this film, I was pretty young. I was maybe a little bit older than you. And there used to be a program here in Los Angeles on the weekends called the Family Film Festival, hosted by a man named Tom Hatton. And that was where I first saw it. And my grandma, who we all called Nani, who was my dad's mom, she was the one that said, "Oh, it's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. If you miss Marilyn Monroe, you need to sit down and watch this." And absolutely fell in love with it. Fell in love with Marilyn. She's one of my absolute favorite actresses. And with Jane, I love this performance. Jane Russell's performance in this movie is, I think, one of my favorite performances of any actress. Never envisioned I'd write a book about Jane, and certainly didn't know that much about her going into it. But it was really interesting, and I think this film was so important to Jane's career that I devoted an entire chapter to it in my book that's coming out, and I think also it was incredibly important to Marilyn's
I
career.
want to read that chapter.
I thought you want to read the whole book.
I also want to read that chapter.
Yeah, but okay. But I am Marilyn is somebody I wish I could come up with a fresh angle on Marilyn to write a book about
There's
her,
not.
because
There's just not though.
maybe there must be, but I'm very grateful that I was actually given the opportunity to kind of maybe contribute something to Marilyn Monroe scholarship
Maybe
by
what you
writing
could
this
do
chapter.
is you could write another. We could write another book about Marilyn, and then you could do on the spines of the books. You could have for Jane. Do you have her outfit? You have like one of her. You have like your favorite thing or whatever. I don't know. You have like Jane's side of it, and then on Marilyn's you have Marilyn's side of it, and then you sell them as a set, and when you put them together, then they make a picture from the movie.
Wow. But the spine of my Jane book doesn't have her.
Then you can get a new.
You have to write another
I
book.
have to write another book on Jane.
They get a new like get like a different cover thing.
Okay. That's wow. That is,
There's a graphic novel series that I have that does that.
yeah.
Where you put all the
I do
spines
that. My
together.
books do that.
Yeah, you put all the
Yeah.
spines together and then you have a picture. That's like
Yeah.
the whole that has all the characters.
I see. Well, I don't know if that'll happen, and I doubt that I'll write a book about Marilyn Monroe. But at least I got to write a chapter.
A chapter.
The thing about Marilyn Monroe is that essentially from the minute she existed as a star, Hollywood has attempted to find another one. Like, they have tried desperately to like recreate the magic that is Marilyn Monroe, and there's been decades and decades of hundreds of starlets and actresses that they've tried to kind of shape into the next Marilyn Monroe. And while a lot of them are very talented and a lot of them had great careers, like nobody ever has come anywhere near close to what she could do.
Yeah.
Because she is like, there is something otherworldly about her, because she's not only is she like unbelievably beautiful, but she's also, there's so much like sparkle behind her eyes. There's so much intelligence and thought. Like you get so much from her that is just her and can't be captured, can't be redone.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think watching this film? Because is this the only Marilyn movie you've seen so far? We haven't shown you any others? I don't think we have.
So.
Oh, no, you have seen some like at Hop.
Oh
But
yeah, I've seen that.
I don't know if you really remember that one because you were pretty young.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, what do you like watching this movie? Like, what is your impression of Marilyn?
That she can act in any way that she wants to, and she can do any role.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
she can be awesome
do
when
you
she
like-
wants to. She can be whatever personality she wants.
do you like her? Like, did you
Yes.
like watching her?
Yes.
Like, do you like when you watch this movie? Can you understand why she, to this day, is one of the biggest movie stars in the world?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think most everybody knows who Marilyn Monroe is, even though I think a lot of people haven't necessarily seen her movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, she's like a fictional character. She's
Yeah.
like Batman or Superman.
Yeah.
Like, she has that level of like, people recognize her almost like as a concept,
Yeah.
to
Oh,
the point where
absolutely.
like people just know Marilyn Monroe. She's so built
Absolutely.
into our culture even now. She's been gone for 70, 60 years.
She's been gone for almost 60 years.
Yeah.
So, well, and it's, and like in Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
because what year did Tommy come out?
She
Movie?
died
The
in
mo-
the 1960s.
She died in 1962. Yeah. But like
I did not
Tommy,
know
there's
that.
that whole scene. It was like, which
The
is
church.
the Church of Marilyn. And that's
Yeah.
what, like a decade?
Church
A little
of
over a
Marilyn?
decade after
Yeah.
she died? Like, it took hold.
76, I
The
think.
Church of Marilyn.
Mhm. Like, it took hold that
Ay,
quickly.
ay, ay.
But what I will say, it is to Jane Russell's credit that Marilyn usually just absolutely steals every movie from everyone. And I don't, I think Jane absolutely holds her own. I
Yeah.
think Jane is so memorable in this movie. And when you say Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and people will often instantly go, oh God, Jane Russell is so good in it. So I think Jane deserves a lot of credit as well. And, Marilyn was somebody that I think a lot of people were very intimidated and threatened by, because she was, so magnetic and because she was so beautiful, that I think a lot of women and other actresses felt threatened. And there's our dog coming up to say hi.
Sorry.
But, Jane was such a confident person that she wasn't threatened by Marilyn. And so, when you watch the movie, the two of them have so much chemistry together. I think it's one of the best buddy pictures ever made. And it was genuine. Like Jane genuinely liked Marilyn. And I think that really comes across. And so I think she does deserve a lot of credit for that.
So does the dog.
Yes.
So is the dog, apparently.
Yes, he does.
I think that they both did a great job.
Yeah. But what do you think about
Cold
that
response.
that relationship between the two of them on screen, of Jane and Marilyn?
I mean, I think they did it great.
Yeah.
That's what you mean. They did it great. They were like real friends. They like it a lot, and they probably were real friends, but
it feels like when you watch it feels like it's genuine, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the two of them got along very well, and weren't necessarily great friends, off screen for years to come, but I think always regarded each other very highly, and occasionally would be in touch with each other. Yeah. So what did you think, aside from the pink Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, what did you think of the other outfits in that film?
they're crazy.
They're crazy.
They're crazy.
I love the costumes in this
But they're
film.
cool. They're crazy, but they're cool.
They're crazy, but they're cool. I love them. I love Jane. There's the after she gets knocked in the pool, and there's the cocktail party, and she has just this gorgeous like brown this brown dress on. I love that dress. I love Marilyn's like purple outfit she wears in that scene.
Purpley.
The little girls from Little Rock, like that's a great one.
Just two little girls.
Yeah. Everything like the
Little Rock.
suits each of them wear when they're in Paris. I mean, just everything about the clothing in this film is just fantastic. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have other questions?
That's all I had.
That was all you had?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like other thoughts about
They did
this movie?
great. Jane and Marilyn did great.
Yeah. Does this make you want to watch more films of either Jane or Marilyn?
Marilyn.
Why not Jane?
Because I've seen Jane movies.
You've seen, what other Jane movies have you seen?
I thought I'd seen other Jane movies.
You saw The Pale Face.
Saw that one No, yeah, I just had that one.
You saw that one. I think you liked that
I
one.
like Marilyn's lightheartedness.
You like me?
It's
Yeah.
just more serious and just like less do and more like
Okay.
more like that.
Okay.
Since we're not doing a video of this, so
They can't see you.
Yeah.
They can't see your description of Jane versus
Yeah.
Marilyn's
yeah,
on-screen persona.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay.
Is Piggy, because he's Charles Coburn. He's not James Coburn's dad, is he?
I
No
don't
relation.
think
I'm
so.
I'm looking it up. I can't tell.
I don't think so.
I mean, he would be like, he's like kind of.
Is he appropriately aged? I feel like he's not
Kinda.
old enough,
Kind of.
but I don't
James
think
Coburn
so.
was born in 28, so it's possible.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Look it up.
I don't
Dad.
think
Because
so.
Look it up
Piggy
even
is
more.
delightful.
Piggy
What did you
is
think about
delightful.
Piggy, Gable?
Meh,
Do you feel the way the kid in the movie felt?
meh.
What
Yeah.
do you see in that doddering old fool? Don't you see his intentions are not honorable?
Yes, meh.
Yeah, I think this this is such a quotable film, and it's well, I think Gable, if you hang out with me and my friend Darren, we constantly
Probably. I'm usually
are quoting
like reading.
quoting lines from this movie.
I'm usually like reading a book on my phone or something.
Yeah, you just ignore me now.
Yeah.
You
I
reach the
usually
age
just
where you're starting
look at
to
my
ignore me.
phone.
But Charles Coburn is just fantastic, and just that, again, like they all play off of each other so well, and the timing between all of them is so good. And the other two guys are fine, but they're pretty generic.
But
Like-
the other two guys are fine. They're
Yeah.
they're just there.
They're pretty generic dudes.
It's interesting. It's part of like there's a whole like subgenre, and there's not a lot of them, but there's a whole subgenre of these sort of odd women empowerment movies that are almost they almost play against type for the period. Like you don't expect them to be like The Women is one of them as well,
Mm-hmm.
where like if you look at them from far enough back, they look like they're about women being catty and women into like squabbling and fighting over men and all those things. But then like when you actually zoom in and you realize like, oh no, they're not. They're actually about how women have these dynamics between them that are more interesting and are about more than just the things that every other the way that women are played in most romantic comedies of the time, and frankly like still today.
Yeah, and a friend of mine at the library, he has, daughters who he showed this movie to them, and they were like in their late teens, and they both didn't like it, and they both thought just the portrayal of the women they thought was just so like demeaning and sexist because they're gold diggers and this and that, which I was really disappointed. And I stopped and I'm like, oh gosh, do I need to like kind of reassess this film? And I don't think so, because this is made, in the early 50s, and there was only so many opportunities that women had. And so I think, these are showing two women who I think are doing the best they can, to survive with what they have and being incredibly supportive of each other. And that's one of the things that I just love about this movie is that it's not women being catty and pitted against each other. It's actually women being incredibly supportive of each other.
Well, and Jane is the opposite of a gold digger.
Yeah.
She's the empty pocket digger.
Yeah, she is. She's just looking for
She's
love.
gold digger. She's
a
empty
coal
pocket.
mine digger, I suppose.
She's a coal digger.
Yeah.
A gold digger.
Yeah.
Gold miner.
Coal digger.
Coal digger.
Yeah.
Coal miner. Coal
Coal miner.
Coal miner.
Is that what
Coal
you're getting
miner.
at? Yes.
Yeah. That.
Interestingly, there is a movie called Foxfire where she does marry a coal miner. So there you go.
Okay. All right then.
So, Gable, I think we're at that point.
Question
The time-honored tradition.
of Gable Smile.
No, we always, every time you say that, and we never ask that first. It is always, what do you think your friends would think?
I think they'd like it.
Yeah, so you'd show it to them?
Yeah.
It's a movie that you would like to share. What about our dog? Because he's interested now. He's really perked
Yeah, I
up.
think
Yeah.
he'd like it.
Cole, do you have any comments?
Lots of people, and I think he'd
You know
like
what?
it.
I'm not really into people movies in
Mm.
particular.
Mm.
What dog movies?
But Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell, very, very attractive ladies. Cole, it's very inappropriate. Or,
Cool.
Okay. So we actually have a movie that you would recommend to your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jaws.
Okay.
and Jaws.
And
Is that a
Jaws.
double feature, you think?
No,
They're both nautical themed.
Yeah, they both take place on water. For the most part.
They both take place on water. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only correlation between them. They both take place on water.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
There's someone with a monocle, and there's got to be somebody with a monocle in Jaws. One would think.
Jaws.
Oh, there
yeah.
must be somebody.
Yeah.
I like to think Quint, when he's
Have a
having his
monocle
afternoon
somewhere.
tea, has a monocle.
So, Gable, on a scale of 0 to 5, with 5 being the best and 0 being you have no opinion, I guess, which happens.
I don't even know if we should give her the 0
Yeah, that's
No.
fair.
option.
1 to
Planet of
5.
the Apes gets a 0.
That's ridiculous.
No.
No, it's
At this
ridiculous.
point, now that I learned, I get that.
I forgot we disowned her.
We did.
Hey.
Why are we even here?
We could be going on a trip.
Hey.
We have that college fund we can get rid of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
it's about time.
Hey.
Scale of 1 to 5.
Will it get the 5? It might. 5.
Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was scared I was going to give it 3 or 4 or
No,
4
I just didn't want you to
5.
do like 4.222.
7, 9, 6.
All right. We have a 5 Gable smile.
It was
Look at
going
that.
to be a 4.7. I don't know why.
And then you round it up.
And
You
then
Yeah.
know,
round it
because
up.
there's no rhyme or reason to how you rate things. Is that why? That in fact rating things for us is sort of a futile gesture.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take the 5 and run.
Mm-hmm.
0 for Planet of the Apes.
Oh, watch your mouth.
You
child.
got a 5 for Gentlmen Prefer Blondes.
If you're listening to this in real time, there's gonna be what are you doing? What are your events and stuff coming up?
Yeah, so the book comes out on June 15th. There will be various podcasts and interviews and things turning up. But I'm taking a leap of faith here and doing an in-person book launch at Larry Edmunds Bookshop in Hollywood. And that will be on Saturday, June 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. So it'll be super cash, kind of, just reception style. So it's not going to be like an actual event because we don't want to pack the store. But grab your masks and come on down and say hi. And that'll be fun. I think we might have some cupcakes, perhaps. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, you're not invited, Gable. It's only for people who understand that Planet of the Apes is good.
Hey,
I mean, just
I
how it
gave
is.
the movie that's in her book
Wow.
five, whatever her grade is.
Clearly, you haven't read the
5.
chapter about when Jane Russell goes to see Planet of the Apes.
She doesn't.
And realizes it is the greatest film of all time
And realizes she has wasted her career.
by not being in Planet of the Apes.
No, stop
Yeah.
it.
With
I'm
her
allowed
pal,
to
with her
have
pal
my own
Charlton Heston, I bet they could have gone together.
No.
I'm allowed to have opinions on my own.
You are. They can just also be wrong.
Okay.
No wrong opinions.
Anyway, for those of you who are not in Los Angeles and cannot attend the in-person book launch on Monday, June 21st, that'll actually be Jane Russell's 100th birthday, and I will be doing a virtual event with Larry Edmunds. That is going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna pull out some tricks and do some fun things that I hope go over well.
Do you want me to test them with you?
Well, you're going to be doing one of them with me.
Oh,
She's gonna
you
saw
mean
you in
that?
half.
You mean
It's very
that?
strange.
Yes.
You mean that one?
Yeah.
She's gonna accidentally knock you in the pool, and then you have to continue doing the musical number.
No.
Oh, we could do that. Except our pool is so cold.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, so if you want to get a copy of the book, you can order it. You can pre-order it or just order it. I encourage you to order it from Larry Edmunds. You can go to larryedmunds.com. That is the place if you want a signed copy, and I will personalize it. So you can order it there. If you don't want to order it there, I encourage you to seek out your local indie bookstore and order it through them because I'm sure they appreciate the business.
Cool.
Okay.
Next week, are we doing the movie that I said?
Well, it's up to your mom. This is her month.
I thought we could do another Jane Russell movie.
But it's my birthday.
Yeah, you have a birthday every year.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
a book come out every year.
But it's my birthday. It's one episode.
I thought maybe we could do, I could meet your dad halfway and do His Kind of Woman, which is a noir with Vincent Price.
So we're not doing the movie that I wanted.
Well, that's not the podcast.
But it's my birthday.
But you
And
want
you said
to do
before.
a movie that's a cartoon, so of course people are gonna watch cartoons with their
I
kids.
don't care.
I do.
I don't care.
Also, we know what your review is
Yeah.
because you chose
I
it to be
don't care.
screened at your birthday party.
I don't care.
Huh.
That's
No
why I
respect.
said maybe
I
we
don't
can
know.
get my friends onto it.
I say we do His Kind of Woman.
That's why
Well,
I said maybe we can get my friends
All right,
onto
we
it.
can fight about this in private.
Yeah.
I think.
I want to get my friends onto it.
Although maybe this is what people listen for is the
The fighting at the end.
bickering.
At the end.
Can't
This
imagine.
is
Skip
another
to the
episode of
end.
the Bickersons.
Yeah.
Skip to the end.
So there you go.
Okay.
Aw.
Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Yes. Five Gable Smiles.
5 Gable Smiles.
Woo.
Happy birthday, Gable.
Charles is 5.1 though.
She just revised. Just came up with a new rating.
Would you grow another tooth?
Charlie was 4.1.
Okay.
5.1, I mean. Sorry, 5.1.
Yes. Okay.
5.1.
Wait, vey. All right, guys. We will see you in a week.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. The Little Miss Movies podcast is hosted by Josh Fialkov, Gable Fialkov, and me, Christina Rice. We're recorded, mixed, and produced in North Hollywood, California. Series art by Gabo. Episode art by Gable Fialkov. Theme song by Gibby and the Bees. All contents copyright 2021 Valoria Shines Inc. Visit us online for more at littlemissmovies.com.
Maybe they make emphysema medicine for dogs. They make asthma inhalers for dogs.
Holy dog.